Roman Anatolyevich Pavlyuchenko is a Russian professional footballer who plays as a striker for Kuban Krasnodar. He started his career at Dynamo Stavropol and Rotor Volgograd, before transferring to Spartak Moscow in 2003. His performances there earned him a £13.7 million transfer to Tottenham Hotspur of the English Premier League in 2008, where he spent 3 full seasons before returning to Russia to play for Lokomotiv Moscow. After another full 3 seasons he moved in July 2015, to Kuban Krasnodar. A full international for a decade following his debut in 2003, Pavlyuchenko earned 51 caps for Russia, and scored 21 international goals. He was named in the team of the tournament at Euro 2008, with Russia reaching the semi-finals, and was also in their squad for Euro 2012. Early career: Pavlyuchenko was born in the village of Mostovskoye, Krasnodar Krai. Pavlyuchenko was raised by his father Anatolyevich Pavlyuchenko and his mother Lyubov Vladimirovna. Pavlyuchenko has a sister. A few days after Pavlyuchenko was born, the family moved to Karakash-Shukesha, the city of Ust-Heguta. Pavlyuchenko began his football career when he joined Victory Sports School and stayed there for 7 years before joining another youth club, Dynamo Stavropol. Club career Dynamo Stavropol Pavlyuchenko started his football career at Dynamo Stavropol. Under the guidance of coach Vladimir Tokarev and Vladimir Kytin, Pavlyuchenko did not stand out among the rest of the Dynamo players. But under Fyodor Gagloyev, he was first invited to join pre-season tour with the club. Pavlyuchenko made his debut for the club, coming on as a substitute, in a 1-0 loss against Moscow on April 5, 1999. On May 15, 1999, Pavlyuchenko provided a double assist in a 2-1 win over Kita. In his first season, Pavlyuchenko made 31 appearances and scoring 11 goals. However, the club played was still relegated to the second division after the club was last place. Despite this, Pavlyuchenko was named team of the top junior division for the first version of the newspaper Sport Express. Rotor Volgograd Pavlyuchenko moved to Rotor Volgograd in 2000, although the move was made in the summer of 1999, despite President Rochescu rejecting the offer. In his first match, Pavlyuchenko made his debut for the club against Elista, where he received a red card after he punched an opponent player in the face. On July 8, 2000, Pavlyuchenko scored his first goal against Rostov, where in his first season, he made 16 appearances and scored 5. The club placed in 11th place in the league. In his second season, Pavlyuchenko made 28 appearances and scored 5, with the club placed in 10th in the league. In his third season, Pavlyuchenko made 21 appearances and scored 4. Spartak Moscow Pavlyuchenko moved to Spartak Moscow in the spring of 2003 for a $700,000, where the deal between the two clubs was agreed. He was a replacement for Vladimir Biskosnaik, who left for Turkish side Fenerbahçe Section ESK on March 15, 2003. Pavlyuchenko made his debut for the club against Moscow. The next game on March 22, 2003, Pavlyuchenko scored his first goal for the club in a 2-1 loss against Alania Vladikavkaz. In his first season, Pavlyuchenko scored 10, making him the best scorer in the team. Also, the club placed in 10th place and achieved winning the Russian Cup in a 1-0 win, with Pavlyuchenko played for 87 minutes before being substituted. Also, Pavlyuchenko scored in the second leg on October 15, 2003 in a 1-1 draw against Espia of the UEFA Cup, which he made his debut in the competition on September 24, 2003. In his second season, Pavlyuchenko made 26 appearances and scored 10 goals, which once again he was the most effective player on the team, which took 8th place in the league. In his third season, Pavlyuchenko made 25 appearances and scored 11. In his fourth season, Pavlyuchenko was the top scorer in the league with 18 goals and first player to do so at Spartak Moscow. This also became the first player in the history of Spartak, who was tournament top scorer after the creation of the Russian Federation in 1992. The club was also close to win the league but lose out to CSKA Moscow, having the same point but with goal differences. In his fifth season, Pavlyuchenko became a top scorer with 14 goals along with Roman Adamov. With Spartak Moscow qualified for the UEFA Champions League, Pavlyuchenko was the hero when he scored a winning goal and provided assist for Mozart in a 2-1 win over Slovan Bratislava in the second leg of Champions League qualification following a first leg 0-0 draw. That win would secure the club Champions League status, as Spartak Moscow would play in the group stage and drawn against Sporting Clube de Portugal, Bayern Munich and Inter Milan. On October 10, 2007, Pavlyuchenko scored the only goal in a 2-1 loss against Inter Milan matchday 3. On December 5, 2007 matchday 6, Pavlyuchenko scored the first goal in the game as Spartak Moscow in 3-1 over Sporting Lisbon. This win ensures Spartak Moscow would go to the UEFA Cup after becoming third in the group stage. On April 19, 2007, Pavlyuchenko scored his first hat-trick for the club in a 3-0 win over Kuban Krasnodar. In his fourth and last season, Pavlyuchenko made 14 appearances and scored 6. During his time at Spartak, Pavlyuchenko was the club's most prolific goal-scorer, scoring 69 goals in 141 games. His goal-scoring, together with his loyalty to the Rumbeek, earned him much respect and appreciation from the army of red-white fans. Tottenham Hotspur. In September 2008, Pavlyuchenko signed for Tottenham Hotspur for a fee of £13.7 million. Pavlyuchenko made his debut for Spurs on September 15 against Aston Villa. He scored his first goal on September 24, 2008. In the 2-1 League Cup third-round win against Newcastle United. Pavlyuchenko went on to score his first league goal for the club in the 2-0 victory against Bolton Wanderers on October 26, 2008. On May 16, 2009 in a 2-1 win over Manchester City, Pavlyuchenko was substituted 15 minutes before full-time for Fraser Campbell. Unhappy of coming off, Pavlyuchenko stormed down the tunnel rather joining his teammates on the bench. His actions was criticised by Harry Redknapp, saying that he let the players and fans down. "I don't like that, it's not something I like. You're looking to scrap away. The fans are here and paying their money to watch, and I think when a player runs down the tunnel without sitting down and watching and getting behind the team, I think that is disrespectful to his teammates." Pavlyuchenko then apologized for his actions, saying it wasn't his best performance and was angry at himself after coming off the pitch and not at the decision to replace him. He has scored in every English domestic cup competition game he has played in, except for the 2009 Football League Cup final. In the 2009 Euro 10 season, Pavlyuchenko was fourth-choice striker for Tottenham, with Harry Redknapp preferring Robbie Keane, Peter Crouch and Jermaine Defoe to the Russian, which Pavlyuchenko was linked to move away from the club. Pavlyuchenko has been linked with clubs like Lokomotiv Moscow, Zenit St. Petersburg, Roma, AC Milan, Hertha BSC, Birmingham City, West Ham United and Spartak Moscow. However, Pavlyuchenko says that he cannot understand why the club didn't let him leave the club, without any explanation. Pavlyuchenko came on as a substitute on February 21 against Wigan Athletic and scored his first league goal of the season, a close-range finish to make the score 2-0. He also added a second from a very tight angle during injury time to make it 3-0. He made his second start of the season on 3 days later in the FA Cup fifth-round replay against Bolton Wanderers and scored twice, a match Tottenham won 4-0. Redknapp has since gone on to say that the Russian striker has taken his opportunity and may well see further first-team action. Pavlyuchenko continued his good form with another goal against Everton on February 28, and another 2 goals against Blackburn Rovers on March 13. He also scored a goal in the quarter-final replay against Fulham at White Hart Lane on March 24. On August 17, he scored a vital away goal against BSC Young Boys in the Champions League playoff round first leg. Tottenham were losing 3-0 until Azar copyright Bastian Bassong header pulled it back to 3-1 and Pavlyuchenko later made it 3-2. In the second leg, Spurs won 4-0 at home, meaning that they would progress into the Champions League group stages. Pavlyuchenko's promising form in this tournament continued with 2 second-half penalty strikes against FC Twente in Tottenham's second group match, followed by a decisive third goal as Spurs beat cup holders Inter Milan on matchday 4. On November 4, Pavlyuchenko scored with a volley in a 4-2 defeat to Bolton Wanderers. The following weekend, he scored again in a home win against Blackburn Rovers. On March 6, 2011, he scored a goal against Wolves. He scored the first goal against West Bromwich Albion on 2-2 draw on April. Pavlyuchenko scored a goal in a London derby against Chelsea in a 1-1 draw. On May 22, the final day of the season, Pavlyuchenko scored 2 stunning long-range goals and a 2-1 win against Birmingham City to ensure that Tottenham finished 5th in the Premier League and qualified for the 2011 Euro-12 UEFA Europa League. The win also relegated Birmingham to the Championship. The Russian's Tottenham career up until this point had consisted of constantly being down the pecking order in the 2009 Euro-10 season despite having a better goals per minute ratio than all of his fellow strike partners in Jermaine Defoe, Peter Crouch and Robbie Keane. The same went for the 2010 Euro-11 season when in March Pavlyuchenko had a minutes per goals ratio of 151 compared to competitors Jermaine Defoe who had 208. Peter Crouch had 243 and Rafael van der Vaart had 161. In December of the 2011 Euro-12 season, the striker had been restricted to just 18 minutes of Premier League football, until he came on against Sunderland and went on to score the only goal of the game in the 61st minute. This was his third goal of the season, having scored against Shamrock Rovers and Rubin Kazan in the Europa League earlier in the season. Lokomotiv Moscow In early 2012, Tottenham unilaterally invoked an option to extend Pavlyuchenko's contract until the end of next season. Reports claim that Pavlyuchenko had been involved in a training ground bust-up with Spurs coach Kevin Bond which led him to leave the club in the January transfer window. However, this was later refuted by his agent. On the transfer deadline, Pavlyuchenko signed a deal with Lokomotiv Moscow for a fee of £8 million with Luis Saha as his replacement. Following his move to Russia, Pavlyuchenko says if Tottenham did not let him sign for Lokomotiv Moscow, he would sit out the remaining 18 months of his contract and leave for nothing, and also tell Russian newspaper Sports Express saying, "I explained that if they did not let me go now, when match practice for the European Championship is particularly important, then I would not consider a transfer in the summer." On March 3, 2012, Pavlyuchenko made his debut in his first match back at Russia since 2008 against Kuban Krasnodar in a 2-0 win. On March 24, 2012, Pavlyuchenko scored his first goal in over 4 years in Russia in a 2-0 win over CSKA Moscow and provided an assist for Felipe Caicedo. After starting first 6 games of the 2012-13 season under the new manager Slaven Bilic, he lost his spot in the starting lineup and was intermittently used as substitute for the rest of the season. In the 2013 Euro-14 season, there was again a change of manager in Lokomotiv, but Pavlyuchenko was still used as a substitute by Leonid Kushik. Kuban Krasnodar On July 16, 2015, Kuban Krasnodar announced the signing of Pavlyuchenko. He would reunite with former Russia teammate Andrei Arshavin. International career. Pavlyuchenko made his debut for the Russian national team on August 20, 2003, replacing Dmitry Saikov at halftime of a 3-1 friendly loss to Israel at Lokomotiv Stadium in Moscow. He did not play again until September 3, 2005, when he started in a 2-0 home win over Liechtenstein in World Cup qualification. He scored his first goal on his third cap on October 8, the third in a 5-1 win over Luxembourg in World Cup qualification, 4 minutes after coming on for Andrei Arshavin. Euro 2008 Roman Pavlyuchenko was in the spotlight when he scored both goals in Russia's 2-1 victory in a crucial Euro 2008 qualification match against England. He was named in GUS Hiddinks' 23-man squad for UEFA Euro 2008, and scored in warm-up victories against Serbia and Lithuania. He scored a late consolation goal in Russia's loss to Spain in their opening match of the campaign and the first goal in Russia's third match of the tournament against Sweden to send Russia through at Sweden's expense. He was declared man of the match after the 1-0 game with Greece, although he did not score in the game, and then scored the first goal of the match in Russia's 3-1 quarter-final victory over the Netherlands. After the tournament ended, he was named in the 23-man team of the tournament. Euro 2012 Pavlyuchenko scored his first international hat-trick on June 4, 2011 in a European qualifier against Armenia in St. Petersburg. He was confirmed for the finalized UEFA Euro 2012 squad on May 25, 2012. In their opening match against the Czech Republic on June 8 in Wrocław, he came off the bench in the 73rd minute and set up his teammate Alan Zag for Russia's third goal. Minutes later he scored Russia's fourth goal, and Russia went on to win 4-1. Pavlyuchenko came on as a substitute against Poland and Greece, which caused the team to be eliminated from the group. Retirement On July 24, 2013, Pavlyuchenko announced his retirement from international duty. Career statistics. Club As of June 2, 2014. International goals. Personal life. Pavlyuchenko is married to Larisa and has a young daughter named Kristina. In Russia, Pavlyuchenko is a local Duma deputy in Stavropol, representing the ruling Vladimir Putin-led United Russia Party, although, because of my profession, it won't be easy for me to take part directly in the workings of the city council but I am ready to help with advice and with a concrete contribution to the development possibilities for exercise and sport. Honors. Club Spartak Moscow, Russian Cup, 2002 Euro 03, Lokomotiv Moscow, Russian Cup, 2014 Euro 15. Individual Tottenham Hotspur Player of the Month, November 2008, February 2010, 2006. Russian Premier League's top goal scorer, 2007, Russian Premier League's joint top goal scorer, UEFA Euro Team of the Tournament, 2008. References. Bibliography, Mark Bennett's, Football Dynamo a Euro Modern Russia and the People's Game, Virgin Books 07535131196. External links, Roman Pavlyuchenko a Euro FIFA competition record, Russian Football Premier League player page, player profile Tottenham Hotspur, Roman Pavlyuchenko career statistics at Soxerbase, player profile, PremierLeague.com profile, Roman Pavlyuchenko at the Forbes.